Good evening. It's May 5th, 2025, and we're in Studio 5A today.
Happy Cinco de Mayo Day.
And it's my pleasure and honor to be speaking with the humble hero, Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How you doing today, Mr.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
You're looking well.
Yeah.
I see you got a new set of clothes on. It looks very nice on you.
New set. This is old pair of pants.
Sweater and shirts. Hey, how was your dinner today?
Very good.
Okay. Yeah, I heard everyone's been celebrating at your house Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get involved in these celebrations?
No.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. I think it's an excuse for everyone to get drunk.
What?
I think that celebration is just an excuse for everybody to get drunk.
Yeah.
They're looking for excuses. Between booze, drugs, and cigarettes destroyed their lives. And they don't know it. Or maybe they do know it and they can't stop. I don't know, but it's a bad thing. It was funny during World War II, we're speaking of cigarettes, that the Red Cross passed out cigarettes like candy bars.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, they gave you a pack of cigarettes. The Red Cross gave it out. They thought to do the good thing for you.
They thought, yeah, exactly. Like some of the commercials on Papa Mechanics and other Life magazines back in the day. Doctors recommend to smoke menthol cigarettes to help cure your cold.
Yeah.
So in World War II, they passed out cigarettes like candy bars.
Yeah.
And I imagine the majority of the teenagers, out of boredom, start smoking, right?
Yeah.
Out of boredom or bad nerves, they started smoking. Did you pick up the habit?
No.
You didn't pick up the habit? I see. What did you do with all the packs of cigarettes you were given?
I gave them to the guys in the squad.
Yeah. What a great marketing move by the tobacco companies. They're a really devious bunch of people. The servers are putting the young teenagers are putting their life on the line, and many of them got killed. And on top of that, let's throw them a pack of cigarettes. Let's pick up that habit. So if the war didn't kill you, 20, 30 years, those damn cigarettes did, right? So it goes a step further. When the war was over and you survived but you still had problems. You had a sniper bullet hole in your shoulder. You were beat up, shot, stabbed, bombed. You still have shrapnel in your body.
Lost a hip.
Trench foot, and frostbite. So you're left with a lot of problems, but you at least left. And a lot of people didn't, like in the last war. In the Bastogne, the casualty rates were high as 90%. Mr. Jeckovich luckily made it out, probably from the prayers of his mother, who was a devout Roman Catholic. She prayed the rosary every night for your safety, right?
Probably, yeah.
And the former nun, Renee, from Paris, she left a convent, another beautiful Roman Catholic. She prayed the rosaries for your safety. But her life didn't turn out too well. What happened to Renee?
Right, she got shot.
Yeah, who shot her?
The Germans.
The Germans, yeah.
Took her out in the field, shot her.
A beautiful nun, had her parents killed and tortured by the Nazis, and her teenage brothers killed and tortured by the Nazis. This was when the Nazis were occupying France for 4 or 5 years, and they got word to the convent this would happen to her family. She left the convent, probably questioned her faith, which is understandable. Even the Pope questions his faith. And then she joined the French Revolution, and they got wind that she was relaying messages through her portrait she's painting of the German officers.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to her headquarters of the French Resistance?
No.
I thought you went down there at one time. The French Resistance.
Oh, down in the cellar. Oh, yeah, down in the cellar, yeah.
How was that?
That stinky hole.
A stinky hole. French Resistance did a lot of good work getting rid of those damn Nazis. But it took the American boys to run the Nazis out of Germany. Out of France and then out of Germany. Yeah, that's for sure. But the story gets even better with these cigarettes because it's so interesting. these young teenagers are fighting for their lives, and these other people are coaxing them into smoking cigarettes. When the war was over, what was your tents like?
My tent?
When the war was over, they were sending you to camps where you had to have a point system to go home. But what did your tents look like of these
Lucky, Sharkville, Morris, Chesterfield, Pall Mall.
Camel?
They're all camels.
Yeah, so his last camp in the military, all the tobacco companies were advertising on these tents. And I think that was like in New Jersey or New York. This is before the boys, the war's over now, but this is before the boys are methodically sent home. It took months and months and months to do that. But the cigarette companies were still hot and heavy with advertising on the top of the tents. And then if we fast forward 30 years, since we're on the subject, so the cigarette tobacco companies didn't have a captive audience of the war anymore, so what did they do?
They put it on the counters in front of put it on front of the counters so the kids pick it up and steal it.
Correct. Yeah, so 20 years later after the war, the devious and cunning and clever tobacco companies in very selfish ways got together with all the 7-Elevens and 40,000 convenience stores, and their bright idea was put displays and packs of cigarettes right in front of the cash register on the front counter, so it made it very, very easy to steal a pack,
Yeah.
right? And the tobacco companies welcomed you stealing a pack. Why? Why they want you to steal?
Well, you get a pack, it gives you a carton.
Yeah, that's right. You steal a pack today, they'll sell you a carton tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Imagine that. Wow. Well, we're going to start a new chapter today, Mr. Jeckovich. This is going to be chapter 6, Home on Furlough, Farewell to Anne. In order to open up the laptop, Mr. Jeckovich, I'll need your dog tag number.
42965.
Okay, that opens up the laptop. That's the passcode. And let's start with a few pages of chapter 6. Do you want to do reading or you want me?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, by the way, Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H. God bless you.
Thank you.
2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today's a gift, right?
Yeah.
Today's a gift. Hey, listen, boys and girls, it truly is a short dance around the sun. It's a short dance around the sun. For example, Mr. Jeckovich said he blinked his eyes at 20.
I'm 90 now.
100, yeah.
Yeah.
It went that fast.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925. Now we're in 2025, and he's knocking on the door of 100. Hear those knocks? Hear the knocks?
Yeah. It's pearly gates.
You're a damn comedian even at 100. That's good. That's good. Keep up that robust spirit of life, yeah. You gotta have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, you're basically screwed, but it's a short dance around the sun. These guys 40 years old listening and they think, oh, I got the world by the balls, you know. No. At 40, you have less than 10% of a chance to make it to 100. 10% of the chance to make it to 100. 10% only. It's a very, very hard thing to do to make it to 100, believe me. Mr. Jeckovich jogged for 80 years. He never took a prescription. He never took a vitamin. And he had a pretty clean life. What was the major reason how he made it to 100?
where I was born.
Genes.
Genes, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people think, many people do the right thing. There's many people do the right thing. There's many guys that are in their 30s that are all perfect shape and exercise every day and eat right. Shit, they're gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a big combination of many things, and no one will ever really know. So if they tell you they do, they're full of shit. Most of these things are bullshit, really. So, they have a great story, the reason why, but it's mostly all bullshit. It's a lot of luck, too. Yeah. It's a lot of luck. So Mr. Jeckovich, when he went into World War II, he was drafted, and he went right to the front lines of combat with heavy machine guns, right?
Yeah, heavy weapons.
Your brother and many other people enlisted, and they never left the United States.
No.
What did your brother do?
He's teaching recruits how to drive jeeps.
So he never left the United States, but he enlisted, and he teach recruits to drive jeeps. Did he have this great ability to drive? Was that what
Yeah.
Did he have a great ability to drive?
No, he had to fire hard. One time.
So you don't have to have no fucking great ability. If you enlist, you're gonna probably get a cushy job. But if you get drafted, your ass is going on the front line with a machine gun in your hand. Period. Right?
Right.
Why didn't you enlist?
I didn't enlist, but it was to take care of my mother.
Yes, that's where the book comes in. The book is titled Their Mother's Sons. Mr. Jeckovich's mother's name was Anne Targus Jeckovich, a beautiful lady, a saint in many ways, but she was tough as a mother.
Yeah.
And the reason why Mr. Jeckovich stepped in at the age of 11 to be her sole provider until when she passed away at age 89, because her husband, your father, died at 43, right?
Yeah.
What happened?
Had a heart attack.
So here we go. Mr. Jeckovich's father was from Russia, where they worked you like a dog in a stinking cold weather, in a horrible factories 20 hours a day, and basically where you dropped from an exhaustion that day was your bed. It was that simple. It was a nasty, miserable Russian existence. So he decided to immigrate to the United States, and I should say in a legal manner, through Ellis Island, and he followed the rules and the procedures. And then he got, like many Polish people, Russians and Italians and Greeks, they all seem to go to Niagara Falls or something.
That was the honeymoon city of the world.
Beautiful, honeymoon capital of the world, beautiful mansions on the river, a stone throw from the falls. It was, in fact, at one time, the neighboring city, Buffalo, New York, had more millionaires in Buffalo than any other place in the United States. And they all went there. So Mr. Jeckovich's father, Marion Jeckovich, worked his ass off with 3 different jobs to give his family and Mr. Jeckovich and his 2 other brothers and a daughter a better life. He was working 3 jobs. One day he was laying cement and he just dropped, right?
Yeah, had a heart attack, yeah.
43 years old. And tell us how that story went. How did you find out that he was dead?
Well, police called our house at 8 o'clock and said we would take her to the hospital. Your father got hurt.
And then what?
Then we went to the hospital. They dropped me off.
They just dropped you off.
Yeah.
Like a bag of luggage.
Well.
Get the hell out.
So I asked the nurse in the hospital, I said, where's my father? She said, we'll take you down there.
Red flags.
Yeah.
Down there is what?
Now, the morgue.
Yeah, you thought you were going up, right?
Yeah.
And what did you see when you get to the morgue at 11 years old?
I see my father laying on a pad, on a bed. It was ice clothes, cement on his pants, cement on his face.
And they tell you to do what? Identify the body?
No, it goes through his pockets.
And what did you find in his pockets?
A Prince Albert can of tobacco, tissues that they wrapped it in, and the matches, something, a quarter or a dime or a nickel or something.
And that was it?
The keys to the house.
That was his life story?
Yeah.
Was your father a heavy smoker?
He couldn't smoke in the house.
Your mother wouldn't allow that?
Oh.
Yeah. And what? He just was worked to death.
Yeah.
He worked himself to death trying to give a better life. See, here's the difference between 100 and some years ago when the immigrants came in the legal way. They did everything right. There was no handouts, but they wouldn't take one to begin with. They would never take a handout, even if they're offered, but they weren't. And they worked their asses off. They came here to work, to make the country better, to give their kids a better life. Now these son of a bitches that come in today illegally, they don't come to work. They come to work the system, right?
Yeah.
They come to work the system. What a different class of people.
Yeah, different culture, yeah.
Wow. What a different culture of people. Now, even though you're an immigrant son by your mother and your father, you don't speak with an accent. How come?
Because my father said we're not Polish or Russian. We live in America, we're going to talk English.
And that was great advice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you would have been talking like a Polak.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did your neighbors have a bad Polish accent?
Belinsky had a bad accent.
How did he sound?
Right. He had a bad accent, yeah.
Yeah. So your father fixed that problem.
Yeah.
And I heard your father loved automobiles, and he had a beautiful Packard.
Packard stayed in the garage for a long time until Stevie got a hold of it.
Packard's what you call a land yacht. They were above a Cadillac, a little below a Rolls Royce. And you know when you see this big black Packard coming down the road, the hood ornament was gigantic. It was the goddess of speed. It was a lady on the hood, all chromed out, holding what looks like a frisbee. And that was a goddess of speed. A lot of people recognize it today as frisbee cars, but that was the goddess of speed back then. What made your father get a car if he doesn't have a license?
Well, he got it from work.
Franchitone, I take it.
Well, no, people he worked with, they cover under him.
Yeah, but didn't the person that you and your father worked for on their mansion at 151 Buffalo Avenue, didn't they, Franchitones, owned Carborundum?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there was a lot of good perks there. Franchitone's son was a movie star, right?
Well, the only movie star we had in Niagara Falls.
Only movie star you had. And he was dating Betty Garble. And then he had some good, your father had some good perks from that job.
Yeah.
Number one, he got your father a job at Carborundum.
Yeah.
He got your mother a job at Carborundum. What did your mother do at Carborundum?
She's a small wheels inspector.
Oh, that's hard on your eyes. Wow. And did you have an interesting story? She didn't want to quit work and they had to run her out?
Yeah, the woman behind her said, you got to get out of here. You're too old to be working. You're over age now.
She wouldn't quit, would she?
Yeah, well, she stayed another year, she quit.
Yeah. And then also by working for the Franchitone, he was the alumni of Cornell, and he got your older brother in, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good benefits. Describe the work that you did at the Franchitone mansion.
Well, we changed storm windows, fixed the food cellar up, and put a food cellar in, the dollhouse for Sally, his daughter.
Wow, how big was this dollhouse?
Well, the regular, almost the size of a house.
Wow.
In the backyard. They had a big backyard.
But the interesting thing and the beautiful thing about the backyard, it was right on the rapids.
Yeah.
You smell that water, that fresh water running through the rapids, and then within a couple 100 feet is where the falls drop.
You hear that, yeah.
Yeah, it was a premier property. Franchitones were all gone by 1961, and the mansion was bulldozed down, and now at the location of 151 Buffalo Avenue, they have apartments. They're called Parkway Apartments.
Yeah.
And they were built over 60 years ago now, and I imagine there's great functional obsolescence. I imagine the ceilings are low.
Yeah.
Like
Doors are narrow.
Doors are narrow, bathrooms are tiny.
Yeah.
Kitchen is just a little strip.
Yeah.
But they're still standing. They have one thing that you can't take away. They got the beautiful view of the rapids, and they got the beautiful drop of the falls.
Yeah, I hear that all the
Hear that
time.
constantly. Open your windows and sleep like a baby. Sleep like a baby. So Niagara Falls, when your father made a great decision of going there and raising his family, you had the best of the Niagara Falls times. There was a wonderful time to be in Niagara Falls.
The city was a great city then, yeah. Niagara Falls.
And now, oh, you lived almost your whole life there. Would you ever move back to Niagara Falls?
No, it's deteriorated.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's a ghetto.
Yeah, there's nobody living there.
Yeah, it's no longer called a city. Now it's returned to as a village.
Yeah.
All that beautiful assets they had with Mother Nature, and all the beautiful stores they had, and the diagonal parking they had on Main Street with the 2 movie theaters that you worked as an usher. How did all this get destroyed?
How?
How was it all destroyed?
Well, because people moved out.
But why'd they move out? What happened?
Because nothing there attracts them.
Yeah. So the whole town is gone.
Yeah, the whole town's gone, yeah.
And if you throw a stone less than a half a mile, now you're in Niagara Falls, Ontario, and it's like Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Super clean.
All manicured and everything.
5-star hotels, nice people, tulip gardens everywhere. It's a joy to be there and a joy to live there. But if you lived in the Niagara Falls, New York side, you'd probably have to carry a gun with you.
Yeah.
Is that bad? Minutes, please. What is this all about? Tell.
It's Cinco de Mayo Day.
What? Oh, what's how many
This
minutes?
came from Mexico.
How many minutes?
7.
You come around this way. Who's it from?
The Madrids in Yuma, Arizona.
Yuma, Arizona. The Madrids gave you the Cinco de Mayo hat.
Oh,
Put
boy.
it on. You look nice. Yeah. You look like a damn Mexican. You look good. Let me get a picture. Let me get a picture. Oh, yeah.
Happy Cinco de Mayo Day, John.
Huh?
Happy Cinco de Mayo
Yeah.
Day. It's May 5th.
Let's see.
What is it?
May 5th, Cinco de
Hey, give
Mayo.
us a wave. Okay, I'll tell them that you like your hat. Okay? Okay, leave that on. We only have 7 minutes left. But let's get back to that. So the town was a very prosperous town
Yeah.
when you lived there. You had simple pleasures like on Orleans Avenue, you wanted to make an ice skating rink during the winter. What'd you do?
The open fire hydrant.
Yeah, simple pleasures. Kids were always outside.
Yeah.
Now where are kids today?
Or he's not there.
Not get out outside. The kids are on their laptop playing some crazy game that's going to screw up their head for life. Yeah, I think the kids are under 16. Take those damn games away from them. They're not a babysitter. They're ruining your kid's life. In fact, I think letting a kid under 16 play all those crazy games on their iPhones, I think that's sincerely a form of child abuse. Get them outside. Let them do some things. And if you go to dinner with your kids and they lay all their phones on the table, you're a coward because you won't take the damn phones and throw them in your garbage. You're supposed to be at dinner with your family and every one of your kids are playing a different game. How foolish. That's not a family. That's not a family. Those are just strangers in the night. Yeah. So, wow. I don't think I'm going to get into this new chapter, but do you feel up to answering any questions?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
I'm so behind in questions. Texts is coming around the clock, all over the world. We try to handle them as quickly as we can, but we just don't have the time to do it because the studio is only 30 minutes a day. And keep in mind, during World War II, there were 16,400,000 young men and women participating cheerfully in the war to better the country, to keep America safe. And now we're down to, here it is, we're down to less than 6,000 U.S. Army combat veterans. We're down to less than 6,000. The ones their lives are in the very late 90s, early 100s, and we're losing them at a rate of 150 a day. So any questions you have for Mr. John J. Jeckovich, combat veteran, he wasn't on no rear echelon typing up papers or doing inventory or something. He was on the front line of the Battle of Bulge and many other battles.
Ted said I was a sucker.
Why is that?
He said, if you were a sucker, you were the infantry, and you were the heavy weapons, and you getting killed. He said you were a sucker.
Someone in my
He didn't go. He had a.
Someone's mind is very distorted. They have a man that's in the front line be called a sucker. Not only that was disrespectful, that person who said that is ignorant of the fact that they're ignorant. In fact, I think they're a fucking asshole for even saying
Well, he didn't get it. He had it.
No,
he had a bad lead.
There was no suckers. If this man and all these other hundreds of thousands of World War II veterans weren't on the front line, you might be speaking German now. You might be speaking German.
They don't think of it that way.
Because Hitler wasn't stopping.
Yeah.
He was going for every part of the world. So that's a disgusting statement that person said. And that person has no idea what life is about. In fact, the person that said something like that is a sociopath with no empathy. In fact, the person that said something like that is the same. Well,
he got out of it. He got a bad knee, a bad ankle.
The person that said something like that is the type of person, if you're on life support, he'd unplug the life support just so they could plug in their cell phone and charge it. That's a disgusting little man that said that, and let's push that aside and not give it any more availability to speak of. Minutes, please. So, getting back to it, if you...
Two.
Huh?
Two.
Getting back to it, if you have any questions for Mr. Jeckovich, simply text him at area code 407-366-0000. Text Mr. Jeckovich any questions. His mind is like a library, and he'll be glad to answer any questions you might have. Anything. Say, take a long shot at marriage. How long were you married?
69 years.
I guess you got some good advice about marriage. You made it 69 years. So text him any questions about the war, marriage, dating, business. He had many of businesses. Any questions about his book? Text him 407-366-0000. It's an easy number. Text him. He'll respond. Yeah, any question.
And thank everybody for all the wonderful gifts that he's been
And we
doing.
thank everybody for the years of recording in these different studios, all the beautiful gifts that Mr. Jeckovich got. He got gifts from around the world. We thank you all. It was so nice. It was so nice.
That leather jacket, boy, that was a good gift.
Yeah.
That from Netherlands.
Yeah, Netherlands such a beautiful leather jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 seconds.
Yeah, so we thank everybody. We know many times the day goes by so fast and we don't have time to thank you, but Mr. Jeckovich really appreciates it. It was really nice thoughtfulness, kindness.
Well, Jennifer will letters out to all of them.
Yeah. Everyone gets a nice letter, a nice thank you letter, that's for sure. And even a small thing like this Cinco de Mayo hat, it just is a nice thing.
Yeah, right.
It's just a nice gesture. So I firmly believe there's more good people in this world than bad.
Yeah.
There's more good people in this world than bad. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe that.
5 seconds.
Don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another one in the books.
Got